They just thought I was barking mad.
Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Denise Armstrong. Denise, great to welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Not a problem, not a problem. For those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Denise Armstrong and I run and own the Adventure Bark, which is just on the edge of Bishop Stortford between St Michael's Mead and Much Hadham. And the Adventure Bark is my big 7-acre site field, which has been set up, designed purely for dogs and their owners to have freedom of the bark, as I call it. And I am a dog trainer, which is how I fell into this in the first place, and saw a need for it. I have to say, when I set it up and I said, this is what I want to do, everybody, including my husband and the person that ended up actually fencing the field, that was a lot of money, but the person fencing the field just didn't get it. They just thought I was barking mad, to speak. And then when it was all fenced up and set up, it's brilliant. So, I mean, I could talk forever about the Adventure Bark because it's my passion, and it's designed for dogs.
Wonderful. When did you get it started?
So I bought the field, the land around here, as you know, it's hen's teeth. It's like hen's teeth. And I very nearly bought somewhere else before this, a good couple of years before, but building a house. So money went there. But this came up for sale and I saw it and I thought, oh, this is rather a good opportunity to miss. So I bought it in 2018 and as a derelict piece of land, so agricultural land, and it was derelict. So I took on 2018 and then I did the right thing. 19 is when I applied for and got planning permission for it. There are very few, I think in Stortford there's possibly only one other now, fields that have correct planning permission for this, because my field is in Metropolitan Greenbelt. It's in the middle. It's so beautiful. It's so lovely and peaceful and quiet. And so it's in Metropolitan Greenbelt. So even my planner, who I interviewed 3 planners before I found one that actually got what it was that I was after, and we clicked. So even he was surprised when I got my planning permission through. So I had the wonderful opportunity of going to Much Hadham Parish Council meeting where they were discussing my application at the time, and I had to talk them through what it was in principle. They thought it was a wonderful idea at the time and wanted to recommend it, but couldn't because it sat outside planning regulations. But they had to refuse it with a recommendation that they loved it. But East Herts Authority, bless them, actually passed it with planning permission. So it's got full permission to be what it is and where it is. And after 2019 is when we started and we'd set about repairing the land. So repairing agricultural land meant taking it back almost to bare bones and ploughing it and then fencing it. So it's I don't like to say it is fully secure, because if you've got a European rescue that can climb a fence, they'll get out of anywhere. So it's a secure field. So the fencing is 6 foot with the topper on it. So it's fenced all the way around. And we opened in June of 2020. Of all the years to open something. And I didn't advertise it at all because it was lockdown and in and out of lockdowns. But what I was really fortunate was that the clients that I had through my dog training business were just like, yes, please, yes, please. And so it just word of mouth and it exploded. So I've been really, really fortunate with how it landed and the fact that it did explode. And then after I opened, I think we've now got 7 other fields around in the area. It did show that there was a need for it. And like I say, when I set it all up, there were those that went, what are you doing that for? Who wants to bring a dog to an enclosed field? Those dogs who can't be around other members of the public per se, or other dogs per se, or it's just too old and geriatric and don't want to be bounced on the head by other dogs loose in a park. And it's also a bit of, I had one client who said she used to come along with her husband. She couldn't walk very much. So we've got some lovely little rustic benches around the field. We've got a shelter. We had another shelter, but that got tornadoed out, believe it or not. We had a tornado down there. But she used to come down and she said, this is just my hour of peace. She used to bring a cup of coffee and her husband would walk her dog around the field. And we've got various activity stations around there. we've got like an enormous, we had a sand pit to start with for digging in. And we've now expanded that, and that's a huge sand pit, which is bunker sand from golf course. We've got activity stations set up around the field, so activities that you can engage in with your dog. And we've got some activities. We've got like little jumps, mini jumps around, but it's all based around a rustic field, so it's not a sterile area. So we have the last summer, every year I've got to do something. So last year we installed some huge polyurethane, like 1.5 meter wide tunnels in a big bank, like a Teletubby bank. So we've got a large, a medium, and a small that goes through the bank, and it's all astroturfed, based for footing for safety. And we installed a spiral oak log climbing area, and a cotton reel, couple of structures as well. But it's all set up around, focused on the dogs rather than the people, because it's for the dogs that I set this up for in the first place. Dog parks have now just exploded around the country, and you can tell the ones that are commercially driven versus the ones that actually get to the nub of what you're creating. And it's my passion, dogs, and I'm not commercially driven by it, although it is a commercial venture. It's not there. We've had to invest in a tractor to mow it, because my ride-on lawnmower used to take me 4 hours to mow it. My husband absolutely loves, every year he cuts a grass maze into the field structure, so we allow the grass to grow, and we have a little grass maze, which it's dog height, This year we actually want to probably put a willow tunnel in or something like that. So we're constantly looking at what can we do, but allow enough space for a dog to put its foot down and just run. And that's what it's about, really.
Today's podcast is brought to you by a great local business helping people take back their time in Bishop Stortford. If your weekends are getting swallowed by cleaning instead of time with your family, I get it. As a dad of 2 young boys, I know how fast those moments can go, and I've been let down by cleaners before. That's why I use Time For You Cleaning. They're reliable, friendly, and give you one less thing to worry about. If you want your time back, head to timeforyou.cleaning and let them know the podcast sent you. Get back your precious time and support local. Right, back to the show. Every time I've driven past Adventure Park, when I've been driving, I barely see it, obviously, because I'm eyes on the road. But the pun Adventure Park absolutely appeals to me. And I just thought, oh, fantastic. And that's all I kind of noticed for ages and ages and ages. And then a few months ago, my wife drove and I was in the passenger seat. I don't know if it was because I had a drink or something like that. I was in the passenger seat for it. And I noticed the size of the park through the trees. And I couldn't believe how big it was, because I saw the sign and I thought, oh, it's a little thing for dogs to play in. But it's a really big space.
It is. And that, to me, is what makes it stand alone from other areas, in that it is rural for a start. So we've got all the hedging and we've got the buzzards that fly overhead and everything. I did very wisely take the decision to not include within the 7-acre site, there is a pond which is fed from drainage ditches. I very wisely decided not to include that in the park. However, when we have really, really bad rain, and oddly, we haven't had enough rain for the brilliant winter feature we get, which is there is a dip in the field towards the top, and in that dip it fills up with rainwater during the winter. And oddly, last year and this year for definite, we have not had our winter lake. And the reason I love it, and I absolutely love it, is that dogs love it. And I take my dogs, I have a white dog. Who has a white dog with mud fields and things? But I take one of my dogs, well, all my dogs up there, but they just run around that lake and through it. And it's like one of those features that appears. And I could have put in drainage and got rid of it, but I thought, no, this is part of what being a dog is about. Jumping in the mud and running around and things. What we've installed as well last year, which was we've put a post box in there for dogs to cock a leg on. But also we have a post, one of the dog trainers that uses it, she puts a postbox topper on it. We introduced that this Christmas so that people can send a letter to their dogs in heaven. This is how I love this park, and the feedback I get from the people that use it is just what makes me keep doing it. The lady who I mentioned who used to come along for her hour of peace and her husband would walk the dog, I said to her one year, I said, I'm going to make a rainbow bridge. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I'm actually going to make a bridge that's painted in a rainbow, because when dogs move on and pass on, we call it, they go down Rainbow Bridge or across Rainbow Bridge. And I said, I'm going to make a rainbow bridge. And absolutely bless her, she was absolutely superb. She said, I'd like to pay for the paint for her. So I bought the rainbow paint and it's up there now. It's been up there since beginning of last year, and I've put some chains across it and people can hang their dog tags so they can come and visit. So the users who've been in the field, if you say, I can't come anymore, can I? My dog's passed away, I'll give them a free slot and they can come and bring the dog tag and attach their dog tag to the rainbow bridge. It gives me pleasure, Yeah, I just love that people like to engage with it that way. So the rainbow bridge has been in place, and it's each time we go I always check see if there's another new name that's added there, and I get lovely feedback from clients. That's what makes it, we do get people that don't poop pick, but as big as I can make the signage, regulars will pick it up and just mention, oh, by the way. But I have a lot of regulars, and for those regulars, we have a discounted booking, so they can book blocks and they can also reserve blocks. So we have several regulars that all have a fixed, I'm always booking this time, so they're guaranteed the time that they want to book in.
So if I had a dog and I wanted to bring them along, what's that process look like?
So what that process looks like is you just go to the Adventure Bark, type it in Google, the Adventure Bark, and my website will come up. You'll probably see a photo of myself and my English setter. Setters is my thing. They need space to run. So you'll probably see a photo of me with my English setter, and that's how you know. It's coloured red, black and white, so it's quite simple. And on the website, click book, and there's a drop-down menu, and the menu says how many dogs you want to bring. We base it on the pricing structure is based on the number of dogs that you bring. I am a sucker because I haven't put my prices up for over 5 years since we opened. I just can't, because people just enjoy it. So the pricing structure, it's £15 for 1 hour for one dog. And then thereafter, the pricing goes up by £3 for every other dog. And because it's private land, I'm not limited by the local authority to the number of dogs that can attend. I just ask people to be sensible with the number of dogs that you come with one person. So one person, so I've got it at the moment, you can book up to 6. We do have events there in the middle of a period when we had lockdown and then we didn't, and then we did, sort of thing. I hosted an English setter gathering at the field for the southeast area, and we had 28 English setters and 2 Irish setters, and it was lovely, and it was a beautiful day as well. So we do events, and then I donate. They didn't do it this year because it was so cold. I donate a couple of hours to the Stortford sausage sizzlers. So they do a 2-hour fundraising, and they bring all the sausage dogs. They've got a Facebook page. So I donate 2 hours to them, and they raise money for the Red Dog Foundation, weirdly, which is about intervertebral disc disease that Dachshunds can suffer from. So I donate a couple of hours for them. But I've had a wedding there. Can you believe it? I had a wedding. Somebody approached me. She was absolutely lovely, and she said, you may think I'm absolutely mad, but I bring my dog to your field and it's the perfect venue for can we have my wedding venue party there over a week? Can we hire it for the weekend? And I took some convincing, and then I thought, yeah, why not? Go for it.
Who would have thought that when you first opened, you came up with the idea and now you're hosting weddings? Yeah. That's incredible.
And it was a lovely event, and yeah.
This episode is brought to you by It's a Wash Thing. They're a local home-based laundry service here in Bishop Stortford for busy families who just want one less thing to think about. Free pickup and delivery, eco and non-bio washes, and everything comes back clean, folded, and actually sorted properly. If laundry is one of those jobs that quietly drains your energy, It's a Wash Thing has you covered. Search It's a Wash Thing on Facebook or check the show notes. Right, back to the show. So if people haven't been there before, or they're new dog owners, or maybe they're visiting friends and family and they've brought their dogs with them, but they need to, then it would make sense for them to come and see you. What does that first visit look like?
So basically, it's all hands off and that's the way I run it. It's hands off deliberately because of the nature of some of the dogs that actually need access to that field. There's the session that you book. It's all automated. It's all online. So you'll book your dog, you'll choose your date and your hour. I started off when I first opened, it was half an hour, and it got very, very bitty and messy. So it's a very simple structure. You hire the field and it is yours and yours alone for 50 minutes, and we allow 10 minutes to catch your dog and pop it in the car. So there is 2 fields there. So there's the really large field, and then there's a smaller field, which when we're dog training up there, the smaller field is the one that's used for dog training, but we don't allow multiple shares. So it's always your entire site is yours, but we just close off one section when we have the dog training equipment set out. And that's what a lot of people will use to catch the dog in, is the smaller field. So it's 50 minutes, and you receive an email booking confirmation. And in that confirmation is the ability to reschedule, because life happens. And once you've done your booking, you get a reminder email 2 days before. You get the email 2 hours before, and a text message which gives you the codes which allow you to access the secure site. So that it's all coded access. So we've got coded access gates to get into the field, but there's also padlock at the front gate. There's a height restrictor. And so if people are bringing tall vehicles above like a van height, is it 1 meter and 5? It's on the website, but there's a height restrictor. I'll open it. I'll pop up and I'll open it up. I'm very accommodating. So, like I say, life happens. So I'll happily reschedule if somebody's getting a bit stuck. So it is designed to be fairly simple for people to see it. There's lots of pictures on the website so you can see what is there. We have tinkle towers for the people. So it's a bit rustic, but it's a tinkle towers. And there's a car park there which can take up to 12 cars. However, when we have a really large event, I open the main access, which is how the tractor gets in, the main gate to allow people into park. And I will usually attend a large event just to make sure everything goes smoothly for them. But yeah, it's a simple booking process. It's done via email and text, so you get reminders.
You're not going to miss it. Can you call out your website address, just so if anyone's listening to this, they can go to it?
So it's www.theadventurebark.com.
Strong B on that, everybody. That's the pun. That's absolutely fantastic. Look, it's so exciting to hear about an idea that you've had. In the community, you've gone out, you've made it happen. People weren't necessarily lambasting it, but they weren't sure. And now it's become a success, and now it's flourishing. It sounds like it's really fantastic to share that, and a privilege just to shine a light on it, Denise. It really is.
I had the conviction it would work, even though others said, no, it's not going to work. It will work.
That's what it's about. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Denise. Time now to ask some Stortford Spotlight questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Excellent. These are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that come on the Bishop Stortford Community podcast. First question: if you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say, and who needs to hear it the most?
Thought quite long and hard, and I think we have issues in Stortford, like every town has issues. People have issues. we all have issues in life. And so I live by the sort of a mantra, which is let go of what you can't control or change. So if you're angry about something, it's only yourself that you're upsetting. Because it's only you that gets wound up if you're angry, as we're all sat in traffic. But if you really like something, I always massive fan of you need to pass that message on. So I believe in let go of what you can't control or change, and it make you a better person for it. And I think we all need to hear that message all the time, to be honest, and live it. So I try to live that mantra. So that's me. So
A good stoic philosophy for
yeah.
everyone, Denise. Yeah, wonderful. Question 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
It's a little cafe at the bottom of the high street, which is called Dada's. It's right on the corner I'm trying to describe it. It's opposite the Half Moon. It's on the corner and it's a really small cafe and I love it. There's a small menu. The coffee is to die for and the food is to die for, and they allow dogs inside. And there's very few places that will allow that. And it's a lovely little corner. I think it's always busy in there. But it doesn't feel busy or packed. And I usually meet a friend of mine in there with her puppy. She's got a puppy at the moment. I usually meet a friend in there for coffee and we have breakfast in there. It's lovely. Highly recommend it. But I hope it doesn't get too packed out that I don't get a seat in there.
No, I hope you can still get a seat, and I hope you get your next coffee on the nod after your recommendation. But it's good to have a recommendation for somewhere that you feel comfortable taking your dog, because I have seen some places which say that they're dog friendly, but maybe then they're not set up in the right kind of way, or the environment isn't quite right for
No.
them as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. And it's something where if you have puppies, it's really good to start from the very get-go of practicing. Dada's Cafe, brilliant, but it's nice and cozy. Love it.
Great. Thanks, Denise. And third question, who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
So this is my other passion. I'm big into volunteering, and so I volunteer for a couple of things. But where I've just come from this morning is Little Hadham Village Hall, and we have a lovely community volunteer team, and on Wednesdays is our big day. So Wednesdays we have like warm space lunches, which is all home cooked and donated food. And at the same time, we run seated yoga, Tai Chi is in the main hall. So Wednesdays is a big day. And I don't think volunteers across our community get enough kudos for what they do. And you don't have to be of a particular mindset. You just think, I've got an hour or two to spare, I'll go and help. I'll get involved. And it's lovely. It's lovely. But it's just not just Wednesdays. We do monthly things there. We have people who help out doing the maintenance. And it's just these little nuggets that people forget. So my little Hadham Village Hall, we're not quite rural, but we're not centre of town. But we've got everything that ticks a box, but can always do with help. And I just think volunteering, you get so much back from it. You really do.
Well, hopefully by being on the podcast, we can help a bit there. So if someone's interested in volunteering with that, what's the process for them to get involved?
Do you know what the best process is? Come down on a Wednesday and have a free cup of tea or coffee and find myself, Denise, or the vice chair, Joan, or the treasurer, Alice. But there's more of a team there than just us three. We're all happy to talk to people and just come down and help. You get so much out of giving, I think, giving of time.
Yeah, it's that kind of weird altruistic feedback loop that I have spoken about a couple of times. You know, if you help someone, it actually makes you feel better than the help that you've given them, and it can become,
Yeah.
you know, so it's a really nice, self-fulfilling
It allows you to
process.
widens your own network as well, because I mean, today it was just somebody was saying, oh, well, I don't know about doing Tai Chi or not. Let me get Sarah. She does Tai Chi. She's lovely. To come across and have a chat with you about it. Just being able to help. I love helping, which is where my dog field comes in. Help those dogs that needed space to run and breathe and sprint and yeah.
Be dogs. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. One last time, your website?
www.theadventurebark.com.
Awesome. Denise, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. If you're out there and you're listening to this and you've enjoyed the show, the best way to support us is to hit follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're watching this, and share it on your socials, or maybe someone in town who's not on social media. And if you've got a local legend, someone like Denise who's, come up with a new business idea, started it from scratch, bought 7 acres and built something incredible out of it that we can shine a light on, share their name in the comments or drop me a message so we can shine a light on the work that they're doing. Denise, again, thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast.
No, thank you very much for having me, James. Thank you.
Thank you. This episode is brought to you by True Tone Media. If you want a podcast, testimonials, or a better way to tell your story, but you keep feeling stuck because video feels awkward or cringe, that's exactly what we fix. True Tone Media creates conversational video for your business without that cringe. If you know you need to produce content but don't know where to start, hit the link in the show notes and we can have a chat. Okay, back to the show.